and welcome back to yet another episode on Life Seasons. I am so excited. As usual, when I have new guests, it's so exciting. And these guests are special to Kenji and I. If you've watched previous episodes, you've heard their names like 10 million times. And let me tell you, coming to shoot with these guys, it has been an uphill task, finding just the right moment. But today, it's that time, and so I'd love to introduce them. Joe and Nyamu, karibu.
Asante.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on set with you guys.
So honored to have you guys.
Come on.
Also happy to have Kenji on set, my co-host.
As always.
As always.
Hosting the most.
Welcome to the set as well.
Okay.
Today we're in Limuru. Yani to imagine to find these guys who traveled. Life Seasons has traveled to Limuru. This is a beautiful place that Joe and Nyamu host, and as we have this conversation, at some point we will talk about it because I'd love you guys to know more about it. But just to kickstart the conversation, we can just let you guys in on how did we get to know Joe and Nyamu? You know, where did we meet? How did this friendship start? And then we'll just go into just listening to Joe and Nyamu's story. All right?
Come on.
Alrighty.
So,
Like it.
tulikutana wapi?
I think it's the husbands who met first.
The husbands met first.
Yeah, I think Joe and Kenji are the ones who met first. So maybe they can tell us their own version of
own version of
when they met.
When they met.
Okay.
When we joined the...
Joe, what's your version?
Okay. Did you meet?
My version. You know, the real version.
The real
Right?
version. Yours
And
is
then there's the
version.
true version.
So, I remember, when was the year? Do you remember the year?
I think 2013.
Yeah, 2013.
2013.
Hey, you got
So
the right.
2013 was the year, and we were serving in church. So I was facilitating discipleship class called Mizizi at Mavuno Church. And it was a new season. New season means new people coming to do it. So, who was in my class? Kenji. Kenji and Mwende, right?
Yeah, we were both in your class.
So I knew them before they even knew each other.
Right.
How cool is
That is true.
Yeah. So he came in, and I was like, okay, you know, it's very interesting. It's interesting to see how guys come into these classes when they have got either no clue, they're just coming in to just understand what it is to be a Christian. So I met Kenji. And what's your version? That's what we met.
You want to add some spicy to it, add your details.
Let me give my details.
Yeah.
So, Joe was the facilitator for this class, right? And I remember the way the setup was, you go into a tent, and then now you'll see the people. So you can't see who's in the class until you open. There's like it's like a tent. You have to open that key, like a sheet.
Yeah.
So the first class that I was meant to be put in got full because I came in late. I came, I think, on week 3 or week 2.
Yeah.
So I remember the coach told me, come, I show you. This class, someone has dropped. You might get space.
Yeah.
So the guy came and asked you, and I think it was Alex. Because he was the head coach.
Yes.
Came and was like, Joe, do you have space in the class? You're like, yeah, we have space for one person. I'm like,
moja.
Later. Basi imejaa. So that's the first time now I saw Joe.
Yeah.
And then I turned, and then I saw Mwende. Oh, hey!
I'm in the right place.
This is where it's happening.
This is the class.
This is where to be.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to see you first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know if it's the first day. It's one of those initial days.
Yeah.
I remember you had a black shirt and white jeans.
Yes, I remember your white jeans.
Yes.
Yeah, I
That's
love those
probably
pants, you
true.
know.
Yeah.
I was aspiring to be playing golf and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was it.
And then you and Nyamu were dating at the time.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
Were we
yeah.
dating?
Yes.
Were you guys
Well,
dating?
he
I remember-
actually came for a hangout at your house.
Yes.
Yeah, and he brought me along, and
Yeah.
you guys were there. Yeah, and I think that's now the time I now got to meet you guys.
Right.
officially,
Yeah.
Quick question. So where were you, Nyamu, when we were doing our Mrs. class?
I was also facilitating.
She was
another
also
class.
yeah.
Oh, so she was also facilitator.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yes.
I see how the match happened. So, okay, and you guys do get to meet in Mavuno?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. Yeah, we were both.
In fact, that's
facilitating.
exactly why we're here, because want to know, you guys know how we met?
Yes.
How did you guys meet?
Yeah.
So discipleship, Mizizi.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Let me ask, why did you guys used to, okay, I know it's not you, but
Yeah.
mulikuwa mnasema no dating in LG. Sindio?
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
clearly you guys ignored
Even
that.
you,
No, but
clearly.
us guys were facilitators.
Yeah.
Funny facilitators don't
Yeah,
have
but
that
this
you're
was
show.
our
allowed-
allowed today.
Yeah, we're allowed to date because
Oh,
you know what
hack
happens.
it.
You know what happens.
Can you get the essence behind it?
Yes. Now let me give you the essence. So now, like strangers come in, okay? When they start forming relationships, they lose the essence for why they were in class.
Yeah.
You understand? You came seeking for God, and then you got distracted.
Your
got
attention
distracted.
is
Yes.
misdirected.
We're a perfect example.
Yeah. So we really try for guys to maintain their focus.
Yeah.
We're here
Okay.
to learn about God, and yeah, like even us guys when we were dating, because facilitating is easy. Now, even our dating was within the circle of friends.
Yeah.
We never went on a one-on-one. I remember it was like after a number of months when we had our first one-on-one. Yeah. So the essence is just to really focus on what has got you there, and then dating comes in later. Yeah.
Well, I wonder how, statistically, how that worked out for many. But go ahead. How did you guys meet?
How did you meet it?
So now we're talking about Mizizi. Mizizi is such a nice, it is an amazing program, discipleship program that if you haven't,
seeking.
yeah, it's not spouse seeking. You seek God and then he adds the spouse seeking.
Seeking first and all these other things.
Yeah. So it happens in seasons. Okay. So there was an ongoing season
Right.
that I was facilitating. So we have a pool of facilitators.
Yeah.
And then we usually have hangouts where we get to people's houses. We get to just hang out and ask, just find out, what's going on. Are you okay? Like just regular hangouts. So this one time, we had a hangout at Audrey's dad's place.
Really?
So I came in a bit late.
I'm just trying to think. Audrey was then.
Yes.
Nice.
Audrey and Robinson. Okay. So I get into the house and I came a bit late because guys had already settled in. So I come into the house and I look straight at the couch that I'm seeing. I see this lady.
Hey.
And I sit next to her because there was space. So we start hitting vibe. We start we just kicked it off from the first. So we started chapaing stories. And I remember Alex, the guy who was the leader, he was like, "When you guys know each other?" I'm like, "No, we just met."
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like that.
Yeah, that's how we met.
And
The rest is history.
the rest is history. We're here.
Yes,
Now
you
you're
have
here.
another version.
No, that's the truth.
That's
the true version.
I don't
Okay.
even have any more details. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how romantic.
Let me tell you. The thing is, like, it was not love at first sight. It
It was
wasn't.
friendship at
It was
first
like
sight.
friendship at first sight. I looked at her. I didn't even know that we would date. It didn't capture my mind in any way. And I think also for you, right? Yeah. So as we continued having the conversations, we're like, okay, who's that? starting to notice, I starting to look at her in a different lens. Yeah. So that's how it is.
So for both of you individually, you were you looking to date? Like say, were you in a space where you're like, I'm ready to meet somebody new, I'm ready to date, Ama you were just focusing on facilitating and the
Let me
Lord's
speak for
work?
myself.
Come on, go ahead.
I think I was just focusing on facilitating.
Really?
Because I had just come out of a relationship that I was dumped on text.
Ooh,
So I was like,
Where are you? Thank you so much for doing that. You did the right thing.
you did the right
One man's meat is another man's poison.
That's-
I was like, Papa is serving God.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, these brothers, nah.
Yeah.
And for me, I was on a dating hiatus. Like I was on a 1 year break off of dating. Yeah, so it was almost like a detox of some sort.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't want that. It was Pastor Moredi who said, for some of you, need to stop dating and need to stay single for 1 year.
Yeah.
So I think I was actually in that period. So I was not dating. I was not looking to get into a relationship. Yeah.
Had you also been in one before then, or were you a serial dater? Why did you make the decision to? Why did you make the decision to? I need 1 year
This
off.
podcast is serious.
My pastor. Let me tell you. Yeah. So should I say this? Should I go at it?
The Lord has redeemed you, so.
So I was in a long-term relationship that lasted like 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a good relationship. It was good. But somehow it was not the right relationship.
Okay.
So I just got out of that relationship, and then now I was on fire for Jesus. Still I am on fire for Jesus. But I was new in the salvation. I just really was going hard at it. And I remember I hadn't made the decision to date. So I was looking at another lady. I got her into church, and I was like, okay, let's go to church.
Yeah.
I want you to introduce you to God. Let's do this thing the right way. And there, Pastor Moredi was talking about relationships. Because I think finders keepers back then.
Do you even remember the sermon?
Yes.
Those sermons you never
So
forget.
that is 2012. When was this?
That was 2012.
yeah.
That was 2012.
Oh, 2011.
I think 2011.
2011.
Break was in 2012.
Yes. Look at you. Yeah, so I come to church with her. It's the first time she comes to church, and then she's over there. And then Pastor Moredi is, for some of you, need not to get into a relationship. You need to wait. You need to go on a 1 year break. If that's you, stand up.
Ulisi mama.
I didn't stand up on my own volition, but I just felt, I stood up and I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, who does this thing?
That is so awkward.
I felt so awkward, embarrassed, and all that. But after that, that's when I took the break.
Yeah.
I took the break. I was like, okay, God, now, since you're asking me to take this break, you better have something good for me in store.
Yes. And so he did.
Yeah.
We thank the Lord for forcing you to stand up.
Yes. So I was in that space. My mind was not clouded. Well, it was a bit clouded because, anyway, but yes.
Were you smitten when you saw her?
You want to tell that story?
Wait, what?
You tell that story.
Because you have many stories. No, let's not.
His mind was clouded.
Yeah, but it was So, but when I saw her, when I asked her out, when I saw
So
her,
at what point did you ask her out? From meeting that day,
No.
you guys kicked it off, you talked, nini. Then how did that friendship progress?
So we did a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And then I think one day I was like, wait, why am I talking with? We used to talk till like 4 a.m. I go to work. I'm so sleepy. Then I was like, wait, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? So I called him and I told him, you know what? I don't think you've made your intentions clear. I can't go on talking here till 4 a.m. every day. So I told him, don't call me. Don't text me.
Hey.
Unless it's, and then we were in the same life group. So I told him, unless it's life group related.
Yeah.
Don't call me, don't text me. We can't be talking till 4 a.m. And then he said, wait, okay. And then I think it was 2 weeks. Yeah. So I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks. Then he called me and then he's like, I want to take you out on a date.
Oh.
I told him, do you remember what I told you?
Yeah.
Like, yes, now I want to take you out on a date. So he came pick me up at my mom's. It was a really nice date.
Yeah.
I think we did everything. Watched a movie.
Right.
Went for dinner. Went for
We
ice cream.
actually were alone at the movie theaters. Do you
Actually,
remember?
it was really nice. We sat on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then he dropped me home. And then I think now we started officially dating.
Oh, so you asked her out?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he likes to tell this joke that I asked him out. It's so bad. But yes,
So you, Joe, when you were told, don't call me, don't text me.
Yeah.
What happened in that week? You said a week or two.
It was like
went
it was
quiet.
like 2 weeks. It was like 2 weeks over, like 2 weeks or just a bit over 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, this damsel is no joke. Like she's, one of the things, and right, like men, sometimes men don't have clear intentions, and unknown to us. Let me say us, men, is that sometimes we just, it's almost like we are mark timing, and sometimes chicks are taken for a ride.
it's called defrauding.
It's called defrauding.
You're
But see,
defrauding.
I thought
Yes.
they say you have to test drive the motive before.
Hey.
Hey, just feel,
Do not be
feel the
defrauded.
tension.
Do not be defrauded.
Maybe there's a lady who's watching over there, and I think for me, when she said, "Don't call me, don't text me," I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Talking up like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Make your intentions clear.
What are we doing? Because I think that's what he asked.
What are we doing?
I don't understand. No shit. I
So
don't understand what
you're
we're
building a friendship.
At 4 a.m.
Yeah. Please, those past
No, you
hours.
just want to grow deeper quickly, so
No.
that
So for me, I was like, okay, fine. It's fair and square. So I was like, okay, what does this mean? So I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Make a decision and say, you know what, this is a girl that I want to get to know her better. I want to be intentional in knowing her.
Yeah.
Because I could be, not that I was, but you could be talking to her till 4 o'clock, and then somebody else on the other hand.
Yeah.
So you're almost double-minded.
Yeah.
True.
So that, whatever she said, actually
Hit home.
hit home. I became focused.
And the thing is, it feels nice. But then you're right there, you're like, hey, this thing feels nice. And then you have to have a bit of objectivity for, while it feels nice, what is it for? Like, what are we really doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so sometimes the feeling nice can be like, can feel nice for 7 years.
Yeah.
You're just there, feeling nice,
And then
then what?
exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but I also, one thing I've always picked, I mean, Nyamu is type A. She will tell you as she thinks, what she believes, and it will not sugar-coated
Facts.
as is, facts. So this thing didn't start today.
Clearly.
Correct.
Right from the word go.
Correct.
Something
From the get-go.
dating, that
the word
personality came out. But my question to also Nyamu was, did you think that this thing would go further? Or because you're from a would I say, did you in a relationship?
She was
you
taking
broke up?
she was done with the
so you're
brother.
done.
She was
Yeah.
like,
So were you like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're like, no, not ready?
I think I just remember thinking I don't want to be taken advantage of.
Okay.
So I was like, whatever your intentions are, make them clear so that we know. So
Okay.
I know,
Yeah.
are we moving on?
Yeah.
But I was open to a relationship.
yeah.
And then my small sister and his small brother were best friends.
Oh,
Unknown to
interesting.
us.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So this is something you found out later?
I think as soon as we started dating.
Okay.
Yes.
Because, not before, because my sister came and told me, she gave me Mushene, you went and told your brother something, and then he told my small sister and then my small sister. So, because they were in couple together.
Yeah.
So, I think after our first date, we went and told your bro, hey, that chick is wife material.
Oh.
Then
He told the sister.
Then my sister came and said, "You know what that guy said about you?"
Yeah.
So started entertaining.
You're like, yes.
Like
so
white
kinda had
material.
got
Oh, white
long-term-
material.
long-term plans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nyamu, you're actually looking at this thing long term. You're thinking marriage. Let me just put it that way.
When I had that.
Yeah.
When I had that,
Yeah.
he thought of me that way. Now the idea was planted in my head.
Okay.
And
So
here
this
we
thing is
are.
long term. This thing is long term.
Yeah.
I see.
Because it's really hard for a woman to call it. You can be in a relationship.
Yeah.
You're desiring marriage, but the brother is not interested
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
marriage.
But that's why even what you did, I remember something Steve Harvey said. Kitambo, when this movie what's this movie called? The famous relationship movie. Oh my gosh.
Is it think like
Think
Yes,
Yeah.
act like a lady,
Yeah.
think like a
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
So during that period, I remember he was talking a lot about I guess the book and just the teachings from it. And one of the things I remember him saying to the ladies, if you don't require your man to open the door for you or define the relationship or wait, like in terms of sexually, if you don't have your own standards, then the guy will not, he will just go as you have allowed him to.
Yeah.
Very true.
So I feel like you required of Joe to
Very true.
to actually be like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Different leaders. What are you doing? What are we doing? You know? Yeah. So sometimes
100.
ladies, we need to be able to set that standard as well. Have our own standards so that no one just walks in and out of our lives
Yeah,
Yes.
as they
true.
please.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so I take her. This, by the way, she was really intentional. One thing about Nyamu is that she was really intentional.
It's
So,
intentional.
from the get go.
Right.
From the get go. So, so I take her on the date, and then we went for several dates. And then there's this one time. No, actually, the time when I asked you out, we had gone to
Birthday party.
Fogo Gausho, right?
Yeah.
We had gone like a group. So I snuck her out, and then I took her somewhere for ice cream.
Hey.
And then I sat her down and I asked her out.
Wow.
And you know what she did? She laughed. She was like,
That sounds typical Nyamu.
she was like, give me a break.
Yeah.
I'm coming. So she left. I think she went to the washroom or something.
Love some more.
She's like, she went to laugh some more. And me, I was like, yeah, what? I was like, what have I done? Like, this is so awkward. It does not go like this.
Nyamu, you left the brother out.
You know, you just like when you because I was so sure. You know, sometimes like brothers, you know that when you're about to ask a chick out,
Yeah.
chances you're like
99.
She's gonna
90% she's gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now me, I was left there. I was like, wait, I had not seen that curveball coming. So she came back, and then she asked me some questions,
Wow.
and it was like, "Are you sure? Are you asking me because I'm an alternative? Yeah." And I was like, "No, I'm sure it is you."
Yeah.
Yeah. To some point, I think
Wow.
I even sang.
Yeah. And that's
You sang.
I
song.
Yes.
You sang a song.
Yes, I did.
What song did
It
you?
better be a rap song,
I
bro.
was scared.
I looked her in the eyes. You know, then you know, I was still on fire for God. And I told her, I'm not going back. I'm moving ahead. That was the song I said. I'm here to declare to you, my past is over.
Whoa.
So I was telling her my past is over.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at any past relationships because that's what she was asking.
Right.
She was like, "Are you sure that just because I know you have your past, you have maybe hang-ups, but are you sure it's me?"
Yeah.
So I told her my past is over and it is you, I'm sure. And then she said yes, and I was like, "Wow, thank you, Jesus." Yeah.
So this was how long? Sorry, Monday.
No, go ahead.
Curious
Go ahead.
because I think I'm hearing this story for the first
Yeah.
time.
Not so many people.
This is like,
By the way, not so many
12
people know about
years.
this story.
Right.
Not so many people. I think this is the first time I'm actually saying I sang.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I love it.
Hey, Monzo
Yeah.
Joe, that one is for the records. So how long? So what's the period between when you saw her, started talking, to
Yeah.
when you asked her out?
When was that?
I think we met in 2012.
We met in 2012.
Yeah. And it was on a break,
Yes.
a dating break for
For a year.
25.
Up to end of 2012, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was nothing serious. I wasn't even thinking about getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
So it was basically just friendship. Okay? So we used to serve together. We used to go for those hangouts together. But after 2012,
You asked me out in February 2013.
yeah, Feb 2013, I asked her out.
So that means that is almost the same time when you guys were serving, because we joined that Mizizi class in Feb
Exactly.
2013.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So we were fresh.
Chronological.
Dating.
Maneno ni haya.
I know.
Okay.
So I just asked her out. And then you asked the period, what? The period from...
So since you began speaking,
Yes.
like I'm just trying to get
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
timeline.
the timeline of is that courtship or is that
Not yet.
friendship.
Courtship is
That's-
now just starting.
Courtship starts from
Bruh,
2012.
we need like a whole lesson on what dating, courtship, and what at least marriage. I understand.
Yeah. I think for us was getting to know each other. Because, before you ask a chick out, and before a chick says yes,
Yeah.
you have to have seen something. So for me, we were so much in the same circle. We used to go to pray, like as a group. We used to do cookouts. Remember, we used to even go to Mount Olives. Yeah?
Where's that?
Like it was a prayer center.
Mountain.
Prayer Mountain. Yeah, so I've seen this chick in the like just hanging out, maybe doing like cookouts together.
Yeah.
I've seen her like out there having fun and all. So I knew what kind of lady she is.
Yeah.
It was not like a coffee date where
You're not getting to know who.
yeah, I knew the raw her and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I asked her out, I knew this one,
Wife material.
this is a wife material.
Hey.
Yeah. So Feb 2012, how many months later?
No, 2013.
Feb
No, Feb
2013.
2013. And then we got married on the first day of January 2014.
Wow.
Yeah. So
11
No,
months.
you
It
see,
was-
when you're clear from the beginning,
Yes.
no wasting time.
Define DTR. This is
DTR.
define the relationship.
Right.
So it was clear. She knew my intentions. I knew what she wanted. Focused. 11 months. We dated. The introductions happened. The ratio happened. Tap Ndoa, we did everything. Ndoa is a premarital. We did premarital. And 2014, first day of 2014, we said our vows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So when did you ask her to marry you? You said when? Tell us a
Feb-
story and your
Feb
engagement
2013.
story. No,
So-
that's dating.
so-
Engagement.
So now, this is interesting. So when I asked her out, I think we both knew where this thing is headed to. Yeah, because I knew if I ask her out and she says yes, she's gonna be my wife. So that's when we became more serious. I think we started going for dates now, like really personal dates.
Yeah.
And we started talking about our future together. Yeah. But now it got to a point when it was now becoming serious. And now meeting parents, because I remember going to her home and telling mom, Mom, may I like your daughter, and we're kind of looking to advance this relationship.
Right.
It was very informal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I used to every time I get out of work every day, I used to go. She's born raised Kiambu, so I used to chap on those laps every day. And so the intention was clear. Even before I proposed and asked her out, even her she knew, right? But she said, "No, no more. We can't continue other conversations." She was just waiting. So I looked for rings. I had 2 rings, so I didn't know. Like it's like when I was going to propose, and then I took her. to Brackenhurst. Yeah. I remember I was so ready, but now I'm like 2 rings. One got lost. I was like, no, it has to be this one. So going back, I remember now we started doing premarital. We were actually in the middle of a premarital class because ideally the beauty, even doing a premarital class before you think and say that this is a girl that you're going to marry.
Yeah.
It's good when you do the premarital and then you know exactly what you're expecting.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's interesting.
Because we did that too.
Yeah, but them doing the premarital class before you got engaged.
yes.
Meaning,
Yeah.
if it
now-
goes south,
Yes.
like you go through the material
Yeah.
premarital class
Yeah.
and you figure out,
Yeah.
this is not it.
Yeah.
You still have
you
a
call it
exit
quits and
strategy.
Yeah,
Yes.
quickly.
And you move on.
Yeah. You end up buying new ones.
That's a lot of investment, bro.
But you did that also. You signed
but
us
just
up for
thinking-
Doha before we got engaged. Like in
But
fact,
you
when we had
see-
started rebuilding our relationship.
Yes, but our dynamic was a bit different.
It's
A bit different.
Okay.
But I think the concept and the principle is the same. Like premarital does not necessarily mean it's for
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who
Get-
are engaged
Yeah,
To
that's
get
true.
heading to marriage.
Yeah.
Like the people who are single who are just thinking, hey, are you the
I
one?
should do it.
Just let's do Ndoa. In fact, that's what we tell couples. We tell people who are dating, is this serious? Is she serious? Are you guys thinking about taking this thing to the next level? Right now, do a premarital class.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to invest too much and then you realize that
Parents know each other.
parents know each other and then you realize there's some deal breakers.
Yeah.
And then you have to now
Because then it helps you start to ask hard questions,
Yeah.
to discuss certain things,
Exactly.
to discuss money.
Yeah.
I remember Ndo is the one that told us about putting your finances together and things like that. So like, is this person you're with willing to do things like that?
Yeah.
Ama, what are your values? I think that makes a lot
Yeah,
of
it
sense.
does.
That
Yeah.
makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a hard class, I remember then.
It was the mid-season.
It was a mid-season event, and they were really telling us when life happens. Just showing us, it's not about a rosy affair. Marriage, life can happen in marriage, and that got us. I remember at some point you were crying, right?
I remember after the session.
Yeah.
So it was a panel. So we had different people who had gone through just life. The girls just went to one corner, and the boys just went to one corner. And I remember I was telling the girls, I'm not even engaged. Today I can go home and be like, we are good. Because it kind of just tells you this thing that you think you're getting into is not a golden ticket into a good life. Because that's the assumption that we have. Hey, I have the ring. This life is gonna be awesome. Then you realize it doesn't exclude you from life happening.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So I was like, I'm not even engaged. You guys have your engagement rings. Me, I'm good. It was so, I don't know. It was the reality of it was raw.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he dropped me home. And then when he dropped me home, he proposed. I'm like, bruh, did you not hear?
And the problems
that I'm waiting at. Like for me, and I remember just telling him, it showed his true intent. Like even when he had the worst of what can happen in marriage, he still decided to go ahead and make it official.
Yeah.
So the next time I went to class, I told the girls, we're in this together. And that's how I remember he put me on top of the car, removed the ring. I was like, it's going
This
down.
is it.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
Wow. So now you propose, you get engaged, wedding planning. Any highlights from your period of wedding planning towards the wedding? Did you have any drama, anything that came up?
Hey, we fought.
You fought.
Yeah.
So the life started happening.
Life started happening. And that was even generous life. No, least generous life. When you're wedding planning, it's I don't know. I think you're not very objective. I remember there's once we fought about food. And
What's going to be served on the day? Or
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, you can even call off this wedding. You don't need to get married.
We don't have to get married.
You don't have to get married.
So you're telling each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over food.
And then we were actually we were actually at the gate of her mom's house, and then it was a nasty argument, and then we come out, it's like nothing happened.
Yeah. So but I think we learned how to sort out our issues quickly. So like that food thing, I think we woke up the next day, I called him and I told him, it's never that serious. Like, but it's just food.
Yeah.
Who will eat, and the next day it doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
And so, but it was just dramatic. But it was also a good time. I think we wanted to keep our wedding very cheap. We were like, it comes and goes. And it's true. It does come and go.
Right.
And then we had friends who had a very posh wedding. And then we had friends who just had a budget wedding.
Yeah.
And we went for both and we were like, wait, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Like it's the good times. We danced at both, we laughed at both. And so we realized that there are things at a wedding that money cannot buy.
Yeah.
So we decided, those things are not important. But we were a good team. We defended each other against our people that we love. We had a system. So when you're told this, you just say, I'm going to talk to Joe and then I'll get back. That's just shh.
Like, what a wall.
Yeah,
You're not
like,
penetrating.
You're not penetrating.
And Joe would do the same.
Yes, Joe would do the same.
Yes.
Relatives are always suggesting
Yeah.
and giving unsolicited advice.
Right.
So but it was good. I don't remember. I think the only downside was that my mom was involved in an incident when we were wedding planning. Actually, after they came home for the first time.
Yes.
So that really slowed down our plans, and she was hospitalized for a really long time.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So we were like, we're not getting married. Like, because after the first visit, the Kikuyu say, "Mwahe ohiki," like the date is now set.
Yeah.
And we had that date, and then my mom just goes into Hosi for a really long time. So everyone, we were like, this wedding has been, actually we sat down and we said it's not happening.
We just pushed it. We just pushed it indefinitely.
Actually to indefinitely.
Yeah, it was indefinite.
So like, we don't know when she'll be better. But then she got better.
Yeah.
And the person who wanted the wedding to happen was my mother.
Right.
Wow.
Like, she was like, call back the wazers. We're like, no, get better. We had to hide her phone, but she insisted.
Right.
She was like, this wedding is happening. And so it happened as the Lord had planned on the first day of January. And it was a really beautiful day. We had a wedding of 600 people.
Wow.
And it was really nice. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It really was.
I think for me, even when I look back, I'm like, it's that power of intention. Because you know the way the Bible says in Habakkuk, write the vision down.
Yes, make it clear.
Make it clear so that he who sees it will run, right? So we said we're gonna get married this time, and like in that period of dating, planning, and then a parent gets sick, and we're like, okay, we don't have control over this whole situation.
Yeah.
And then for those plans to actually fall as they were supposed to, for me, I just look back and I was like, hey, that's quite something. Yeah, and then we learned so much.
Yeah.
We learned so much. You know, ours was, I think it was, we were doing life even before we actually got married.
Yeah.
Because at one point, like, we moved from not focusing about the wedding planning and all that to taking care of a parent who's sick, to fundraising. Now we're not thinking about the budget for the wedding.
Yeah.
It was, everything came to a screeching halt.
Right.
You know? And now it's not about the dating, rosy affair, stitching makeup, it was rounds at the hospital.
Yeah.
You know? Asking like meetings, budget, fundraising.
Yeah.
And so for us, I think life started before even we got married. Yeah, but it was such a nice, it was a worthwhile journey.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just thinking how the beneficiaries
Yes, I was also going to say that.
of
Those
your life
lessons.
experiences
Yes.
were us. Because I remember, and whether you guys need to send an
So
invoice.
much wisdom.
Because of the amount of wisdom you guys shared when we were getting married.
Kumbe.
Yes.
So you guys had gone through it. I didn't even know all that happened.
Yeah.
Because when you came into our wedding planning and you could hear us, you're like, Those guys got a long way. Come here, children.
Sit by our feet.
We tell you how this thing is done. Because we had plans.
Yeah.
Yo, 8 from 10 to 9. And those are not bad things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But hey, juxtaposed with the budget.
Your budget.
We're like, okay, so what do you guys have? Hatuna kitu. And then they're like, okay, so we start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I remember you guys just giving us practical examples of how to downsize and still make it
And
nice.
so graciously and lovingly.
without shaming us. And I'm like, oh, these are the guys. You know, in fact, Joe, let me just also be very honest.
Yeah.
At that point in time, when we're getting married, because fast forward, this is almost 6 years, you guys had already gone to the States, did your rounds, came back, and all that was happening.
Yeah.
And you guys still were present for us. Because I remember Joe and Nyamu coming. Nyamu was pregnant. Nyamu was heavily carried with child.
Yes.
But I just remember
couldn't
a lady
remember that.
wading through the room.
Waddling.
Like, I need a
Oh my
seat.
gosh.
And just getting to understand where we are.
Yeah.
Now, the things that I got the most was the fact that first, Joe, it's like Yozeki had some seasoning. He had gone through so much. So when he came, there's some things you're seeing through a different lens. I'm like, wow, Joe, you've changed.
Yeah.
You know, last I left, I know you've been a wise guy, but this one is a bit beyond your age.
More salt.
Yeah, but I loved it, and that's what actually I got the resolve to make you my best man.
Come on, I remember.
Because I did have friends,
Yeah.
and I had friends that I've grown up with, known longer,
Right.
shared a lot of common experiences.
Right.
But at that moment, God drew me closer to you in the sense that this is the guy to walk life with. I mean, the rest are great,
Yes.
but marriage is not aesthetics.
That's true.
Yeah, this thing is real.
It's real.
So I remember asking, hey, Joe, you know, I even gave me the speech. Like I'd made even some, even me, I can go out of my way. I made some reborn cards
To ask.
the gentlemen who would stand with me.
Yes.
And there were those like bow tie
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
And all of them had a unique message. So if you remember, yours had a unique message. If you retrieve it, you read the message. But I remember I was very convicted to ask you to be my best man. So I'm just bringing that, I'm tying it in with our story, because I just believe we learned a lot from your experiences.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I was truly honored. I remember I also had the conviction. It was almost like it was my pleasure. I was humbled to be part of this story, because every time like I look at you guys, I knew the both of you before you were anything, before you even started dating. And I have seen such a beautiful journey of love and redemption.
Love, hate, and
Love,
love, hate, war.
redemption.
Yes.
It is such a beautiful story, and for me,
you just had to put that in.
I'm like, man, this is so amazing. You know, I get the front row seat to see what God can do.
Yeah.
You know, and what God has done. So for me, it was a pleasure to be in that space. Yeah.
Hey.
I'm glad 12 years in, this is the bromance. We're still going strong.
Stronger.
Yeah, and I believe that we've also learned a lot from the different seasons in our life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this when we catch up with Joe, it's levels deep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because now he remembers, and I just want to also, can I take you back?
Please
a bit?
do.
Do you remember the time I came to your house in South Sea?
Yes.
and I was distraught. But then I was, let me just say, living dead. I just came and Joe and Nyamu. Now Nyamu came, sat with me. No, Nyamu was in the kitchen. She was fixing something. Joe came, sat with me, and was like, "Hey, what's up?" Because I called like one SOS. Like I needed so much help.
Yes.
And you're like, just come to the house. It was a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And you guys, but they took care of my soul. So I won't even go into the details of it, but I remember I just going praying for Mwenda, because that's the time when she had bile with me. So we hadn't seen each other. It was almost 6 months. I couldn't see my child.
Yes.
And I was so frustrated. I'd broken up with this girl. I was in a headspace that it was just murky.
Yes.
And I needed someone to clear my thoughts with. So I just felt that the ones who have the wisdom to help me cut through the noise and just to see clearly as to what I want.
Yeah.
And we prayed a lot. And you guys remember walking, and we went to do vision boards in Madaraka.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm just taking you back to
That's the
show
vision
you.
board you worked on that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we worked on individual. It was group work.
Yes.
It was group work.
Yes.
But I know that in that season, that time Mwenda wasn't there.
Yes.
Because you remember I was life group leader.
Yes.
I'm also just reminding you how it happened.
I remember.
I was life group leader, and then I ate the flock. Those who know. And then now you guys had to call us.
Yes.
Because now we are in a life group.
Yes.
And I'm here, and the leader has and I don't even know. And now we have to now tell the group.
Yes. Yeah.
And the honorable thing is for me to step down
Right.
and someone else to take on leadership.
Right.
And that just broke the group apart.
Yeah.
Which brings us to that whole principle. Why?
The dating.
Yeah, dating in the same group. I mean, you lose sight of the objective of why you guys came together. But you also led us very well during that time of separation, let me put it that way. Yeah. So Joe, you've been a man of wisdom. I just wanted to give you flowers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Super humbled.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice. Okay, so where were we? We were now married.
Yeah.
What's life looking like now? So when were you pregnant with your first baby?
2017.
No, when we were getting married. Oh, that was baby number 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you've been married for
11th year. This is our 11th year.
for 11th year.
Yeah.
And then in 2018 you were married
Because Mali
from
came in
20?
our
Fifth year. Mali came in like 5th year.
Mali came in our 5th year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys had decided to do marriage first and then kids later.
Had we decided? No.
There's a story there.
Yeah, tell us.
So when we met and we started dating and this
Yeah.
thing looked like it was going to be serious, I told you I don't want kids. Like,
Wow.
many kids are suffering, they're dying. Why
bring them to
why-
this world?
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll change this.
Don't worry. We're going to fix that.
Yeah, we'll
Don't
fix that.
worry.
Yes.
So we get married, but I told them, you need to know as you getting married,
Yeah.
this is part of the things that you getting married into.
Yes.
And he was like, don't worry. I said, okay. So we get married, the one goes, and the brother is like, okay, this chick was serious. This thing is not happening. Year 2, now relatives are fasting and praying. No,
They're talking to the stomach.
Yeah.
They're like, hi.
No, talking to the stomach
used-
was year 1. Year 1 ends, they're like, wait, sasa ni maombi.
Yeah.
Na kufunga.
Yeah.
Year 2 ends, they're like, apana, now. We leave it with God.
Right.
But I genuinely had no desire to have kids. We're fine. There's so many, they're cute ones out here. You can kuchi, then you leave them and start crying and pooping. You know, Yeah, and so,
Yeah.
and then I think around year 5, actually when his dad passed on, Joe's dad was a very good father. I really enjoyed being his daughter. I used to call him Papa. And I loved it.
Yeah.
So when the dad passed on, I was like, wait. And I had always known that he really wanted to be a dad. And then I knew that he could be a very good father. Like I knew. So I called myself to a meeting. I'm like, it looks like I'm the only woman who can give this guy kids.
Well,
Wow. We have a problem. You know? I sat there and I was like, Mimi ndio niko. And I remember it was a surrender thing. Like it was genuinely a surrender thing. I really remember the day when I came to him and I told him, babe, I'm ready. The day I went, I lied on the bed and I was wailing. I'm like, and he was like,
It's like somebody had died.
What?
Yes. It's
Now
like
after telling you or
surrendering. She has released
because of surrender.
this
Yes.
thing she was holding on
Yeah.
to.
let me tell you, I was holding it like this. Like there could be no money for anything, but there would be money for contract. I'm like,
Yes.
that one.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like the surrender was even painful physically.
Yeah.
I wailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, may your will be done, Jesus.
She looks at the pills and the contraceptive. She's like,
Goodbye.
we're doing this.
What?
But for me, it was also a journey because I got into marriage with expectations.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, yeah, we're getting married. Like my program was get married, have kids, stay for 1 year, have kids, 2 kids, and then tukisonga, moving on, right? So now we have this conversation. She's like, me, I don't see the reason why we're supposed to, like, why do we need to add kids into the world? And for me, I had to journey through my own experience.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of broken dreams, broken expectations.
Yes.
At some point, it was resentment,
Right.
you know? And I was like, this is not what I signed up for.
Well, it is what you said. You chose not to see.
Yes. I was
You're
like,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I was like, general progression of marriage is that people get married, they get kids. Yeah. So at that point I was like, I was really, there was a stage of, that was denial. I was denying her feelings. I was denying her position. And the point of, I was like, Allah, she's for real. And then there was a step of resentment. Back I was like, and then I loved kids. Like I really love kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Now there is the outside pressure. Because people are like, yo, you need to have a child. So I'm supposed, like I was protecting her. Because I was standing firm. Nobody actually knew even this story. We're like, us guys, kids are going to come. Like us guys, we have decided to enjoy ourselves. So in that point, I was like, you know what? The world thinks that we have decided, but me, I'm also battling with my own issues to the point I got to surrender. I said, if I never have any kids, it's okay. It's okay by me. It's okay. Yeah. So that I had to surrender. I had to get to a point of surrendering because, even in this season where we are somehow like this, but I had to defend my wife from my family. I had to defend my wife even from the people out there for us to look like, we're in this thing together. We have decided we don't want kids. Yeah. So I got to that space and I said, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. If I never have kids, it's okay. I'm living with that. So that was my surrender. And it made things a lot easier because then we were enjoying life. How we tell people, like, since we don't have kids, we are going to go around, we are going to travel, we're going to do those things that, couples who are not tied down by kids do.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing. Yeah. So that was That was a good.
And did you guys enjoy that season?
Yes, we did.
It did.
We did. We climbed mountains.
Yeah.
You know, I
Oh,
remember-
yeah, I remember you guys are constantly posting. We've conquered Greenwich Peak. We've conquered.
Yeah, we did.
Even the Rocky
Yeah.
Mountains. I know you guys were somewhere in the States doing some
Yeah,
hiking.
Yes.
I think we did Washington.
I remember how it started. We're like, now we need to go somewhere where we don't need visas. Where can we go? So we start Googling. We're like, Ethiopia. Ethiopia. We just
Actually,
like,
my sister was going to Ethiopia.
yeah, no, we wanted to go to Ethiopia,
Oh, yeah.
and then she said she's going to Ethiopia. I was like, Allah,
Go.
let's just go. So we climbed Mount Simeons in
Nice.
Ethiopia. Like it was like we just had
We
a lot
did.
of fun.
We enjoyed that season.
Yeah, it was a good season. It was a good season. Yeah.